Good afternoon. Happy October 32nd, day after Halloween. Post-haunt season feels horrible. Even though Horror Nights wasn't like the greatest of all time this year, it still kind of sucks not having Horror Nights. I mean, we have it for 3 more days, what am I saying? But once it does end, we're gonna start feeling it. We're gonna start feeling the post-haunt season hit us, and that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck. But we have until November 3rd. Or should I say October, 33rd, 34th, October 34th. I reject November 1st. It's not in my books. We start November on the 4th. Anyways, walking into Universal now, it seems like a pretty busy Friday. November 1st, that's such a random day for the park to be busy. I mean, I guess we'll find out for sure once we're inside of the park. But look, the garland strings are up already. Come on, guys. Look at that. That means we're gonna start seeing some Christmas decorations in City Walk very, very soon. Probably by like next week. I believe today is also the 50th anniversary of Hello Kitty, so they have a lot of new treats at Hello Kitty Cafe today. So we can take a look at that. I don't know if it's displayed on the menu yet. Okay, it is. So they have an anniversary cake, a 50th cookie sandwich, and a sparkling 50th drink, which has strawberry soda, coconut cream foam, and strawberry powder on it. Inside of the anniversary cake, it's a confetti cake layered with white chocolate mousse, topped with whipped white ganache. And then the cookie sandwich is a strawberry sugar cookie with raspberry buttercream. Now, it's been a while since we've done a Universal update video, but they added this new Wicked store in City Walk. This is formerly where Universe was located. I mean, I guess it's still here. They now have a bunch of Wicked merchandise. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been posting a lot about Wicked, just because Wicked is one of my favorite Broadway shows. We'll see how the movie adaptation plays off to be. But they have a lot of Wicked merch here, and I just love this spirit jersey they have for Wicked. I think that's really cool. The front is really cool. It has the W for Wicked. And then these are some new pieces over here. This is the Emerald City, I guess, entrance. I don't know why it says Wizomania on it. Maybe that's something from the movie. It's definitely not in the Broadway show. But we have another new Lego piece over here to the right. Very interesting. Not sure what this is. I think that's Galinda's room. Galinda. I can't tell. The Broadway musical doesn't have like that many sets, so it's kind of hard to tell what all of this is. And we have another piece over here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, okay. This is Nessa saying bye to Elphaba and Galinda as they go to see the wizard. And then we have a new kind of like cropped sweatshirt over here. It's good to see me, isn't it? This is like a reference to the show Toss Toss. That's when Galinda tosses her hair left and right. I think that's it. Oh, actually this is new as well. We have a new sweatshirt over here. It says Emerald City on it. This is pretty cool. $60 for this one. Not bad. I mean, it's not something I would wear personally. I would wear something like this though. This is cool. Emerald City. In the back it has, okay, that's not bad. That's not horrible. But who would wear this? Who's gonna pull up to the park with this? I have a new t-shirt up here too. I like the colors they're using. I really like this like navy green. Yeah, $37 for this one. We have some Shiz University merch down in the middle as well. Shiz everything. I'm not sure how I feel about the casting for Wicked. I mean, it's a little interesting. Is that Robert Downey Jr.? I have no idea who this guy is, to be honest. It looks like Robert Downey Jr. It's probably not. The monkeys are really creepy. Who's this supposed to be? I don't even know who this is. And we have Elphaba and Galinda. If you know, you know. I don't know. I think Ariana Grande would play a good Galinda, but I don't know how I feel about the casting for Elphaba. And then same with Fiyero. Anyways, now for the merch you guys actually care about, I'm sure. Horror Nights merch, 90% off. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, alright. In that sense, I'm gonna just snag this really quick. And then like all the t-shirts I wanted, I'm gonna grab. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take the L here. The line was just way too long. I'm like, alright, I'll come back. Oh my goodness, look at the lines to enter the park. What is going on? What time is it? It's literally 12:20. What's going on here? Stunned. I don't think I've ever seen it this busy at this time. Usually, if I'm here by like 12:30, it's just like a walk-in. Not a single person in the plaza. This should be a great reason for the park to switch their biometric scans to just like face scans or like a picture. It should not take this long to enter a theme park. Like, this is insane. Alright, it was taking so long, they just skipped the whole biometric scan. They're just letting people in at this point. So that's good. That sped up the process by a lot. But weird how it's a busy day for November 1st. Just like a random Friday. By the way, feature presentation was also switched to a Wicked themed store. They just opened this last Friday and it's available now. You can walk in and grab some merch. Pretty much the same stuff as we saw inside a City Walk, but here's some like closer looks at some of those action figures that they sell in there. Golinda, Elphaba, Nessa. Let me see if they have anything in here that they don't sell outside of the park. I feel like this entire section, right over here, they don't have a lot of this stuff in City Walk. Like that pink Wicked sweatshirt. Maybe that pink sweatshirt as well over here. A few extra pieces inside of the park. Nothing like crazy. I'm not wearing anything Wicked, but I have my Knott's Scary Farm t-shirt on today. I just had an incredible time at Knott's Berry Farm, Knott's Scary Farm. Both of those parks. Went there on Sunday and then I had to go back Wednesday night just because it was so good. Like, I think that's the only event that could actually scare me. Every year I go, even though they have pretty much the same mazes and scare zones every year. They had a few each year, but it just scares me just as much. They do a really good job at Knott's. I'm pretty sure you guys don't like Knott's because I posted, 2 Knott's videos this week and then 1 Disneyland video and like no one watched it. It had like 35,000 impressions, but no one clicked on the video. So I get it. If you don't want to see Knott's Berry Farm, if you don't want to see Disneyland, just let me know. But I bought a Knott's pass because I just liked it so much. And then obviously we have the Disney pass as well. I'm going to be at Disney a lot in the next few weeks for the opening of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, so hope you're looking forward to that. Probably no one's looking forward to that. Anyways, let me see if they have any other pieces of merchandise inside of the main Universal store that are 90% off. The lines are a little less inside, but yeah, it's still pretty long over here. Look at that. This is truly like Black Friday for all of us Horror Night fans. I just kind of feel iffy about all the merchandise this year. I wasn't the biggest fan of the design, so I'm probably not going to grab anything today. If they have like a Ghostbusters lanyard, maybe I'll grab that, but outside of that, I'm like, eh. Park is just like insanely busy today. Average wait time is probably like 60 minutes right now. Jurassic World is closed for refurbishment, and I noticed that it's been closed for refurbishment for the past week. I thought it was going to reopen today, but maybe it's closed for an extended period of time. I mean, they run that ride like crazy, day and night. It closes at 12 midnight usually for Horror Nights. So that's like more than a, 12, 13 hour operating day. Probably more than that. If the park opens at 10 in the morning, that's 14 hours of that ride running. So, I mean, it makes sense why it needs an extended closure, especially with these holiday hours that are approaching us. Park would start opening at 8 a.m. and then it would start closing at 10 p.m. I think those hours come into play maybe like mid to late November. Grinchmas starts I believe November 29 once again. And by the way, past members, keep your eyes open because November 4th, they're going to be dropping past member takeover reservations. Past member takeover is basically where they reserve the entire park for past members, and this is a free event for past members. And they have DJs and rides exclusive to you. It's literally only past members inside of the park, so this is like the best time of year to meet friends or make new friends. And yeah, just enjoy the park with people that enjoy the same theme park as you, because not everyone here is from here. Not everyone that are here, I don't know how to say this. Not everyone that's here enjoys the park the same way as you do, so past member takeover is a great way to interact with people that enjoy the park probably just as much as you. Just soaking in this scare zone. It's not going to be around for much longer. Only 2 more days. Only 2 more, or three more days. This is sad. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the RIP tour for my first time, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be for my friend Jake's birthday. We're celebrating it by doing an RIP tour, so that's really cool. If you can, drop a comment saying happy birthday, Jake. Jake watches the videos, so I think that would mean a lot to him. Never really understood this scare zone. It's just luchador monsters versus like the blue devils, or the blue and green devils, something like that. I don't know. Super Silly Funland is still closed right now. They haven't repainted anything quite yet, but I just couldn't help but notice this one thing. They have scaffolding up on the backdrop for Super Silly Funland, and that means they're going to be repainting everything, which is nice. I don't think they've repainted that at all since its grand opening in what, 2014, 2013? The only unfortunate side of seeing stuff like that is that maybe Minions Land or the Minions ride and the land will be here for another good 4 to 5 years, which is sad to hear. It's probably one of the more underwhelming rides inside of the theme park. Not that impressive, not that fun, not that immersive. I think what would be really cool is if they removed that ride and replace it with like a Minion Dark ride. I think that would be received a little more, and I think people would enjoy that a little more. Lots of crazy updates going on today at Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. You could see they've added more track towards the middle of the project. We'll have a better view on that in a little bit, but they have more track over there. They're working on one of the structures for the queue. I believe that is the queue. They have a bridge kind of walking over towards that. I think what that could also be is maybe a launch tunnel. So maybe at some point the coaster goes through that tunnel and it launches through, similar to maybe Velocicoaster. There's a lot of people on this balcony today. It's kind of hard to hear myself here, but no new supports that have been added around this side of the project. We'll take a look on the other side, but we still have some excavating vehicles doing their job on the lower half of the project towards the front where that tram is passing by. Let's see if I can zoom onto that a little bit. Maybe a little bit. There you go. And one thing I noticed is towards the left of the project, first of all, they're hard at work at pouring in some foundation over there for those coaster footers. We have a lot of people on site doing their thing, but we have coaster footers finally in the back of that project. Look at that. I'm not exactly sure what element they'll have over there, but I'd imagine like if the coaster is going through the course over here and it ends over there, maybe you'll go through like a half loop and then it'll send you back that way. I don't know. That'd be really cool. Amusement Insider has a really cool like fan concept, and I feel like that could be pretty accurate. But this is what we have right now. We'll take a look at the project from different angles. We still have some scaffolding up around the entire structure. We'll probably start seeing some more scaffolding soon, but oh yeah, looking closely between the scaffolding, you can see they're starting to close it up. So we'll probably start seeing some exterior theming within the next like I want to say 4 or 5 months here. It's really cool because looking through the scaffolding, I don't know how much it appears on camera, but you can start to see like all the window frames take shape. So there's some like cylinder looking ones up on the top, and then on the bottom half we have some rectangles and some squares. And then over there you can see with the structural steel, you can see one of the cylinder looking windowsills and then some of the square ones in the middle. So that's really cool. Since they haven't shown us any concept art, we can only take guesses here, but I think this is just going to be a parking garage with literally every Fast and Furious ride they make. Every single station or theming takes place in a parking garage. We have that with Supercharge, we have that with Supercharge in Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same over here. This might be Dominic Toretto's house or garage. Regardless, I still think it's really cool that we're getting a roller coaster here at Universal Studios Hollywood. I think it's very much needed. The Mummy ride isn't like the biggest roller coaster. I think that's a good starting roller coaster, but this is like the big deal. This is a big deal. These are the big guns that Universal has. So I'm excited, even though it is Fast and Furious themed. It's not what I would want, but I'm still excited for a new roller coaster. But one thing to note is that Fast and Furious has a lot of really cool songs. They have like Gasolina and Tokyo Drift, and it would be really cool if they have ride audio playing on the roller coaster itself. I think that would be very much needed, since we're probably not going to see too many theming pieces around the course of the track. I think it would make up for it if they have some ride audio playing or some car sounds, and I don't know. It would be a really cool time for Universal to even introduce different ride audio pieces on every time you ride. So like one time you could ride, you'll hear Gasolina, or another time you ride, you'll hear that Tokyo Drift song. There's a lot of songs they have. Look at that. We have a glamour tram passing by. Surprising that we still see these rolling through the park. The 60th anniversary ended 3 months ago now. It's always so difficult to talk about the Fast and Furious coaster just because I've never really like covered a roller coaster being built from the ground up. So this is all just new to me, and every time I'm here there isn't like a whole lot that's new, so I try to figure out what I could talk about, but I end up rambling and not making sense. So that's like the tough part with this coaster, or with covering this coaster. Look at that, they just added a catwalk. They had like a little catwalk earlier into the construction of the project, but now they have like a full-on catwalk with support bars on the side. They're installing it on the opposing side as well. You can see they have some bars going up to support more catwalks. I have the switch track over here. Here's another really cool view onto the coaster. That just seems so dangerous. I hope he's latched onto something while doing whatever he's doing. That's a pretty good view onto the extension of that queue, or maybe even launch tunnel. I don't think it's going to be a launch tunnel, to be honest. We have some little structural steel bars going up in the middle of that, so I think that's a pretty good indication that that's not going to be a launch tunnel. But so many cool pieces of track here. We have one really like curved piece of track right there, and I think that's probably like the last bit of the ride. Yeah, it goes right into the brake run at the end. So I think the last element of that ride is going to be going over and under, or under and over. Yeah, over and under. You can see arrows on those supports. That's actually kind of cool. So over and under, and then maybe back up, and like you bank into that turn over there. That would make sense, right? Another view onto the coaster here. These pieces of track are just massive. I can't wait to see them testing this ride. It's gonna be insane. Looks like they're still working on this bottom half here. I'm really curious to see what they do with like the surrounding area with this roller coaster. They can't just have like, they can't just have dirt here. I'm sure they'll put like gravel or maybe some pieces of theming around. I don't know. But what I do know for sure is we're gonna have this giant sound wall above the escalator. It's gonna look kind of like this design, but it wraps around the coaster track up there. I don't know how they're gonna do that either. Like, are they gonna have supports for the structure? I don't know. This is so weird. I've never seen a coaster with sound walls around it. But certain pieces of the track or certain elements are going to have those sound walls around them. And this is obviously so sound doesn't leak onto the studio, and of course, more importantly, the neighboring cities. Because roller coasters are loud. Don't believe me, go to Six Flags. You can probably hear that Superman roller coaster from like the middle of Valencia. But you could see those coaster footers being placed. Yeah, look at that. That's a great shot onto those coaster footers back there. This is also exciting. It's so weird to see a roller coaster be built from the ground up here at Universal, but it's happening. Alright, here's your look at Jurassic World, the ride. Obviously it's closed for refurbishment, there's no water, they drained all of it out. And yeah, this is such a weird sight to see. We haven't seen it like this in over, what, 7-8 months? February was its last refurbishment, so I think I'm doing my math wrong here, but this ride was desperately asking for a refurbishment. It's been put under so much stress between the summer season, the spring season, and of course Horror Nights topping it off. This ride has been closed for a week and a half now, and we still don't have a ride opening date. There's nothing on the app. The team members don't know when it's going to reopen. My guess is probably by like November 15, 16 maybe. But through the course of like February to now, we saw a lot of things not working with the ride. First of all, the Mosasaurus tank, the doors would hardly ever open. The screen would go black at times, one of the screens. And in the other ones, there would be like a few pixels missing. Like you would see like yellow and white and like bright red on certain pieces of the screen. Obviously those aren't supposed to be there. Then we saw this waterfall not working for a while. I don't think I've seen this work since maybe like June or July. Then the Indominus Rex on the top was missing its neck, or like pieces of its skin were missing on its neck. And at one point it was fully open, and then they put chains around it on the other side to close up the hole on its neck. Obviously they need to put some new skin on it. And then this ride would break down quite often. So, I mean, it's obvious it needed a refurbishment. They have walls up around the ride, so I think they're going to be doing some repainting on those rocks. You could see that there's some water damage on this rock over here because the water hits it. And I don't know what they'll do for the rest of the entrance or this outer like watching area. But we're seeing some wood and some other pieces laying around, so I don't know what they're going to be doing here, but probably some repainting. And then this is like such a nice site, but we have that water cannon that's still located on site. And we saw this testing 2 years ago. We saw them running the ride with the cannon after Horror Nights. They would be running the ride, and a few times we saw the water cannon go off. So I wonder if they're looking into bringing that back. Obviously that might not be doable just because of Raptor Encounter located over here. Speaking of which, Raptor Encounter is closed as well on top of the ride. So that would be nice, of course, for the summer season as well. You don't really get wet on this ride, especially in the back. Like if you're not in the first 2 rows, you're not gonna get wet on this ride. So I think the water cannon is much needed. They gotta bring it back somehow. So that's your look at Jurassic World. I'll keep a close eye on this ride, especially for when it reopens. Oh, I just realized there's a second water cannon here. I didn't even know that. Look at that. And this one looks newer. It does look newer, huh? We'll see. We'll see what they do with this. One last look at the roller coaster before we call it quits today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Please let me know if you want to see any other types of content on the channel. It seems like you guys mostly enjoy the Universal content, but I definitely want to expand. I want to do Disney and Knott's, especially considering since I bought a Knott's pass recently. I would highly recommend watching the Knott's and Knott's Scary Farm video that I recently posted. Those are 2 really fun vlogs. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm JP, and how they say in the movies, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys in the next one.